Hey there, welcome back to our channel. Today, I'll tell you about a movie from 2018 called Red Sparrow. It's an exciting mix of action, drama, and thriller. Warning, spoilers ahead. The story kicks off by switching between the lives of two main characters in Russia. First up is Dominika Igorova, a well-known ballerina responsible for taking care of her ailing mother. After a visit to the doctor, Dominika arranges for her mom's care and heads to work at the theatre. There, she prepares for the show, encountering her uncle, Ivan Igorov, the deputy director of the Russian Secret Service, and Dmitry Ustinov, a Russian gangster with inappropriate intentions. During the performance, Dominika's dancing partner accidentally breaks her leg and she is rushed for surgery. On the other side, we follow Nate Nash, a CIA agent who deciphers a meeting location from a phone call. At the park, he meets a mysterious man named Marble, exchanges something, and draws unwanted attention, leading to a chase. Nate manages to reach the American embassy, learning that the asset is safe, but he'll be sent back to the USA due to the incident. The next day, Ivan reviews a video of Nate's meeting with high-ranking officials, focusing on identifying Marble. We then shift to Dominika waking up in the hospital, realizing she can no longer dance. 3 months later, Ivan informs her of the end of support from the theatre and leaves an envelope for her. Discovering her dance partner's betrayal through photos and a recorded conversation, Dominika confronts them in a steam room, violently retaliating with her cane. Shocked by the aftermath, she leaves the bus with blood-stained hands, passing it off as an accident. Returning home, she finds her mother distressed due to unpaid wages from the theatre. With no other choice, Dominika seeks help from her uncle, who agrees on the condition that she assists in a case involving the Secret Service's interest in Ustinov. Despite initial hesitation, she agrees, considering her mother's health. That night, she follows instructions, approaching Ustinov at the hotel bar, wearing the provided dress, and waiting for him to make the first move. Dominika goes to see Ustinov in hopes of restoring a sense of importance. When they seek privacy, Ustinov quickly undresses, prompting Dominika to do the same, reluctantly. Their encounter is abruptly interrupted by a mysterious man in a black helmet who fatally wounds Ustinov. Dominika is given a coat to cover up the aftermath and is escorted out through a discreet exit. In the parking lot, the helmeted man shoots an employee and then takes Dominika on his bike to an abandoned building. Revealing himself as Sergei Maturin, another agent working for Ivan, they proceed to a room where Ivan and Korchnoi observe Dominika via security cameras. Despite Korchnoi suggesting elimination, Ivan sees potential in Dominika, even changes rooms, admitting his prior knowledge of the situation, and proposes an offer. Dominika can undergo training at a special institution to become an agent. Refusal would leave her unprotected. Dominika reluctantly accepts. Days later, she arrives at the institution greeted by Matron, the headmistress of Sparrow School, who assigns her a fake name. Matron emphasizes Russia's role in stabilizing the chaotic world. Classes begin, focusing on Russia's willingness to make sacrifices for global order. Students are trained to become sparrows, skilled in seduction and psychological manipulation. During a session where Dominika and Victor are asked to strip, Dominika refuses. Nate, a student called by the CIA's discipline panel, protests against their mole Marble, who has been working with him for 3 years. Matron teaches them to identify their target's desires and basic seduction tricks. Nate notices he's being tailed and informs his superiors. They reach a deal, allowing him to be sent to a nearby country so the Russian Secret Service can be aware of his presence, and Marble will resurface. Nate accepts the team's invitation. In the school, students are tasked with welcoming soldiers returning home from war. Dominika successfully assists a young man, and later, she is attacked by Victor in the showers. She defends herself by using the water tap from the wall to hit him. Ivan, Korchnoi, and Zakharov discuss relocating Nate to Budapest. Wary of antagonizing the USA, Ivan suggests assigning the mission to someone else. Meanwhile, in Sparrow School, Matron and Korchnoi question Dominika about her attack on Victor. Matron sees potential in her, and Korchnoi requests a private conversation. Dominika asserts her allegiance to the state over her classmates. After being allowed to return to class, Dominika is once again summoned by Matron. Under the watchful eyes of Korchnoi from a security camera, Dominika is shown a picture of Victor. Matron instructs her to fulfill Victor's desires. Despite Victor's advances, Dominica takes control of the situation, teasing him until he retreats. Later, she confides in Matron that Victor seeks power, earning the impressed approval of Korchnoi. In a private meeting, Matron informs Dominica that she will be sent back to Moscow. Days later, upon reuniting with her mom, Dominica receives a call to meet Ivan at a restaurant. There, Ivan briefs her on the next mission: befriend Nate in Budapest and uncover the mole's identity. Equipped with a new identity and documents, Dominica heads to Budapest, where she shares an apartment with Sparrow Marta. She meets Station Chief Maxim Volontov, gathers information on Nate, and begins surveilling his routine. During a meeting at the swimming pool, Dominica and Nate play a game of cat and mouse, with her playing hard to get and fabricating a story about being an embassy translator. Despite her deceit, Nate reveals he knows her real identity and reports her suspicious activities to his superiors. Surprisingly, they decide to let him get closer to gather intel. Seeking an embassy pass, Dominica witnesses Marta exchanging intelligence with Stephanie Boucher. Nate confesses to stealing Dominica's ID and invites her to dinner. Later, while searching Marta's room, Dominica finds evidence of her betrayal. Marta hands Dominica a copy of the report sent to Moscow, revealing that Dominica now has a formidable enemy. The next day, Dominica follows Volontov into a bar, asking for a better report. She provokes him into violence, capturing the incident on security cameras, and threatens to expose him unless he complies. Meanwhile, Nate leaves a restaurant, thinking he's been stood up. Dominica follows him, and at his apartment, she reveals her boss's assault. Nate receives a coded message saying Vienna. Dominica kisses him after he shares information about a park incident in Russia. The next day, Ivan questions Dominica about her progress. She lies about working with Marta and asks for more money. Marta confronts Dominica with a gun, angered by the lie. Dominica promises credit and more money, and Marta reluctantly agrees. Later, Dominica opens a bank account in Vienna, while Marta tells Volontov she can handle Dominica. Dominica returns to find Marta murdered. Sergei appears, warning her about secrets, and instructs her to call the police before disappearing. The scene shifts to Nate, who reports to his superiors about meeting with Marble in Vienna. Marble has provided him with files confirming Dominica is a sparrow, leading Nate to believe she is even more recruitable. Dominica kept her cool under police questioning, a testament to her sparrow training. Nate, recognizing her skills, offered her a risky proposition: become a double agent for him. After initial hesitation, Dominica saw an opportunity and agreed, sealing the deal with a night of passion. The next day, Dominica spun a fabricated story about Nate and waited for his signal. Soon, she was meeting his superiors, passing lie detector tests with ease and earning their trust. Money was her main motivator, and while her initial demands were met with amusement, the mention of a certain Boucher changed everything. The team, including Dominica, flew to London to meet this mysterious figure. In a CIA-sanctioned hotel room, Dominica prepped for Boucher's arrival, but when the woman appeared, she was accompanied by the notorious Volontov. Fearing Boucher might be spooked, Dominica distracted Volontov, sending her to her own room. The real meeting was tense yet productive. Boucher traded discs for a hefty sum, unaware Dominica had cleverly swapped them with CIA copies. Dominica and Volontov slipped away, leaving Boucher with a 1-hour waiting instruction. But paranoia and booze got the better of Boucher. She left early, sensing pursuit. Panicked, she ditched the money and darted into traffic, meeting a tragic end under a truck. Back in Moscow, urgent orders sent Dominica and Volontov scrambling. Mid-flight, Volontov revealed the situation and confiscated Dominica's passport. Upon landing, they were arrested as suspected American collaborators. Dominica endured torture, her resolve unbreakable. Seeing her strength, Ivan, a powerful figure, took over her case. Dominica, ever the manipulator, played on his desires, securing her protection. Allowed to return home, Dominica felt unclean, rejecting her mother's embrace. A tense meeting with her superiors yielded a surprising result. She was authorized to continue working with Nate. As a reward for her loyalty, she received Ivan's permission to leave for America with her mother, along with increased financial support. Reunited with Nate in Budapest, his suspicions about her quick release were quickly dispelled. Dominica, playing the long game, convinced him to relocate them and provide even more funds. Their passionate reunion cemented the deal. But the night took a dark turn when Dominica discovered Nate being tortured by Sergei, a rival operative, in her kitchen. Feigning allegiance, she helped extract information, waiting for her moment. When it came, she turned on Sergei, the ensuing struggle ending with him dead by her blade. The next morning, Dominica, recovering from a hospital stay, sneaks out for a cigarette. She encounters Korchnoi, the elusive mole, who reveals himself as Marble. Fearing exposure, he offers Dominica a chance to become a national hero and take his place as the hidden informant. Dominica, unsure, seeks comfort in Nate and decides to surrender to authorities. In a tense negotiation, she offers to reveal the mole's identity in exchange for her freedom. The Russians agree, setting up a risky exchange at the airport. Dominica's reluctant partner, Nate, helps verify the information. The Russians reveal her framed uncle Ivan as the mole, confirming Ivan's guilt. The exchange is complete, but the price is steep. Ivan is silenced by a sniper's bullet, and Dominica is whisked away. Back in Russia, she's hailed as a savior, granted a new life with her mother. But the past isn't so easily buried. A final phone call, filled only with the melody of her favorite song, hints at Dominica's tangled loyalties and the uncertain future that lies ahead. Want more like it? Click subscribe and ring the bell for updates. See you soon in our next